Hey there, nerds. It's been a while. We've missed you. We've missed you oh so much. But as you know, life has its ups and downs, and we get busy, and people move, and all these other things. But we figured we'd round out 2023 by blessing you, the listener, with our sultry, sultry voices. I am joined by my oh so wonderful co host, Seth, the partitioner. Slykehouse, how we doing, buddy?
Dude, I'm doing so good, man. I'm doing so good. I am
How
cocked
good are
up
you
for
doing?
Christmas. I'm
Oh,
cocked up, dude.
cocked up.
Um,
Do tell.
yeah, so like we were supposed to record last night, and so as people who don't know, I work night shift, okay? So when I have something going on the day of the day I get off, it's a little rough. So yesterday we had Caitlin's family's Christmas, and I got off at 7 a.m., came home, took a solid 1 hour nap, and started cooking immediately, cleaning the house, whatever. And then had to, be social and deal with her family and, have everything ready. Because we had Christmas here at the house, And by that time, like they walked out the door and I think I sat down on the couch and I was done. I was out. And here's the thing. I tried to set an alarm on my phone for this podcast last night, and I think I fell asleep before I hit like the actual set button. Because when I woke up and saw your message, I was like, why the fuck did I wouldn't know I set an alarm. So I looked and yeah, the numbers were all there, but it wasn't counting. So I was like, damn.
Mm.
But yeah, I still need to buy a couple presents. I work all weekend, so I think I'm gonna try and just have Amazon deliver them. But yeah, I'm all ready, buddy. What about you? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. As we can see, new setup, kind of. Still awaiting my computer desk. As we were talking off air, my computer desk was ordered, but somehow either got jacked or never showed up. I don't know. But yeah, we're computer deskless
You're off the
currently.
floor.
Yeah, we're off the floor. That's the key. Um, and we are now completely Philly based as far as my location, right in the city of brotherly love.
You were in Philly before though, weren't you?
I was in
Adam?
Delco,
Where's Delco in relation to Philly?
Philly suburbs.
Okay, now hold on. Is this like a Lock Haven Flemington deal, or is this like a real suburb? Like Jersey Shore is a suburb of Williamsport.
Yeah, I would say real suburb. Like this is
Okay,
yeah.
because I always said if I ever became the mayor of Lock Haven, I was going to annex both Flemington and Dunstown,
Okay, I agree with that.
and then I was going to declare war on Mill Hall and take them as well
Yeah.
because it's
No, yeah.
ridiculous.
I agree. I agree. Sometimes I don't like how Pennsylvania, I'm sure other states are like this, but Pennsylvania specifically is like split up in all these weird municipalities, and it drives me up a wall, especially around here because you can go. Someone says, "Oh, I'm from Delco." That could mean so many fucking things because Delaware County is a big county. You could be from Chester, Ridley, Prospect Park, Springfield, Media, Upper Darby, Drexel Hill. Where are you from? Don't just tell me Delco.
Yeah.
That
So
drives me up a wall.
I don't even know what a municipality is in relate. Like there's counties and
Yeah,
municipalities and
right.
townships, and I'm
Yep.
like,
I don't know what any of it means.
what is a township? And because it's not the same as a town, it's not the same as a municipality. What is a
Uh,
township?
and then
You
you have
know?
certain places that call themselves cities,
Yeah. Lock Haven called itself a city.
which is comedy.
Well, so from what I understand, you're automatically listed as a city or a borough or a town or a village once you get above a certain population number. So the reason it seems so ridiculous is like because Lock Haven superseded that population number, but obviously like Philly, New York City also is over.
Yeah,
So there should be like a different level, like a super city. Like there was super heavyweights in the MMA division in the
correct.
early 2000s.
Yeah.
So there's then you got like freaks like Bob Sapp fighting Nogueira.
Yeah. I will say though, Philadelphia, there are way too many people here.
Dude, I don't get it, man. What? So like I've always had this conundrum about cities and homeless people, right?
Yeah.
Why are they staying in the city? You're never gonna not be homeless, dude. Like if you're homeless in Philadelphia or like Boston or New York, you're not gonna be able to crawl your way out of
Yeah,
that
you got to
hole.
roll up out.
Yeah, you dude, go to a small Midwestern Christian town. They are dying for homeless people, dude. That would be like the number one story of that town if like a homeless person showed up and someone helped them. Like,
No, yeah, I agree.
and you could get a bus ticket there so cheap. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, damn, get out of there. If you're poor
I
in the
mean,
city, it's over,
yeah.
dude.
I mean, if I was poor and homeless in the city, I'd probably just go to jail. It'd probably be the best option for you.
That I've heard this happens. That I've heard this is a thing that happens. They just go
Yeah,
to
no,
jail.
it's 100% a thing because like the amount of reentry services that are available to them versus what they were doing on the outside with no help. Yeah, sometimes prison does pay.
Yeah. Hey, I get it, man. Free bed, free meal. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's 3 hots and a cot, and you might get Sunday ticket at certain jails, which is the NFL package. So I'm just
It's
saying
ridiculous.
that it's not that bad. I mean, it's bad, but not that bad. Um, but yeah, so definitely being in Philly has been an adjustment. Way too many people. If we could like Thanos half of them out of here, that'd be great.
Are you saying
Um,
he did have the right idea? Do you think
yeah,
Thanos
no,
was in the right?
yes, population control. I mean, think about it. We shoot deer for population control. Let's just humans out.
Yeah.
Um,
So the
traffic
weird
is also
thing,
terrible.
the weird thing with Thanos' idea, though, right, is that it wasn't a permanent solution.
Yeah, no, motherfuckers started coming back. I don't like that.
Yeah. Well, the thing was that like, okay, so you blink out half of existence, right?
Yeah,
Well, they're just gonna repopulate themselves, and we're gonna be in this situation again.
yeah.
It's like the Reapers from Mass Effect. What are we doing? You know, we're just gonna continue to just do this cycle for forever. Come
Oh
on.
yeah, they were happy to do that.
Speaking of Mass Effect, me and you never talked about the new Mass Effect coming out. What do you think's gonna happen with this? What's going on?
I don't know. Are we even excited for a new Mass Effect? Because I know,
I would like to be.
but I don't think people are gonna be.
In my
I don't
heart,
think
I
any,
mean,
I don't think anyone trusts Bioware anymore.
you know how they tell you like not to think with your dick?
Yeah,
Well, like I have that same sort of scenario, but like with my heart with BioWare, right? Where I'm like my brain's like, don't be excited, but my heart's like, you're always, BioWare, you got to be excited, and I
yeah.
can't stop that because I
But why?
saw,
But why can you stop it with Spider-Man though?
I don't know, so well because like Mass Effect was just a letdown, right?
Yeah,
Mass Effect Andromeda specifically, because I wasn't one of the people that were outraged by Mass Effect 3. I loved Mass Effect 3. But
yeah.
Andromeda and Dragon Age Inquisition, and they're just letdowns.
Well, didn't
With
Inquisition win Game of the Year?
Yeah, it did. I mean, and at the time I liked it, but looking back, I think I liked it because it was a first big JRPG on a new console. But with Spider-Man and comic books in particular, it was outrage, and then just constant spite from the creators. And like just
Yeah.
constant slaps in the face where eventually it's like, all right, well, fuck you, buddy. Like kiss my ass. Like people don't realize the longest tenure writer of Spider-Man was Dan Slott. And he is not only super controversial on Twitter and like seemingly hates people that read Spider-Man, he also blocked me not once but twice. Which means he blocked me,
Unblocked you,
unblocked
unblocked.
me, and then I said something else to him and he blocked me again. The second thing I said to him was because he was complaining on Twitter, like, man, I really wish, you know, he was like complaining about how people acted towards him on Twitter or whatever. And all I said, man, was, I swear to God, was maybe if you weren't so antagonistic towards your fans, you wouldn't get treated this way.
And he's like, yeah, fuck you, buddy.
And he fucking blocked me. Whatever, man. It is what it is.
That's what we call a pigeon toss. He's like, we're
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Jason Schreier did the same thing. I wasn't mean to Jason, but I gave him like criticism, like in the same way where I'm like, you seem to kind of like feed this behavior, and he's fucking blocked me too. But he's like known to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a bit sensitive for a games journalist, but even though we're gonna get into some of that shit because we got since we've been gone, we got some people acting a fucking fool out here, acting a fucking fool because got some drama. But more importantly, we have a Kiseki update from the king. What's going on? Lay it out for me.
All right. So since the last time we put up a podcast, I'm trying to think all that happened. I think I played and beat Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Um and then after Spider-Man 2 came out, I was like, all right, well, I cooled my jets a little bit. Got a break away from, the Trails of series. Time to jump back into Trails in Sky the Third, finish my business.
So proud of you.
I did that, loved it, had a blast. Um really really enjoyed my time with Trails in the Sky the
Now,
Third.
did you run into the glitch I kept telling you about?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I ran into this fucking horrific glitch with Agate, and it
What was
was
it?
like it would just like he would crash the game when he would appear, and like I had to like yeah, I had to like fucking like I had to run the game in like Direct 8 or some shit like that. It was like bad.
Hmm. That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the only glitch I had that I ran into several times, that like I told you when you came over here the one day, was those little rat creature things. They have this move that when they hit you, it launches your character off screen for a second. Or it's not, or that's what happens and it's not supposed to. I can't remember. But because these games have the high speed mode,
Yeah.
I was in battle with a high speed mode,
It
and when they hit me, my
was like a
character
fatality.
well, the character flew off screen, and the like rat creature would just sit there vibrating, and the game wouldn't register that his turn was over. So like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't launch an S craft. I couldn't do anything. He would just sit there vibrating.
Oh, that sucks.
And that was in the middle of a dungeon, and
Oh.
that happened to me at least 3 times. And because I couldn't stop using the high speed mode, I would get frustrated, and I'd forget to not hit it when the rat people were attacking me. Oh, it's so frustrating. That was the only glitch I ran into in that game though. And it wouldn't happen every time. It only happened sometimes. But Trails in the Sky
Now,
Third, loved it.
what did you think of the fight with certain divine blade you run into? Did you it's like it's when you get the kernel
I'm trying to think if there was anything special with that fight. I can't. I think
other than him kicking the living shit out of you?
I think I steamrolled him.
Because for that fight, I remember I started the fight, he immediately launched an S craft, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I'm ready for that at this point. And Trails in the Sky the Third gives you the ability to mitigate them as
Yeah,
well, right?
yeah,
So whenever I'm in a fight with um whenever I'm in a fight with like a big deal,
yeah,
immediately when I have Kevin, right? It's like, all
mhm,
right, Grail Sphere.
yeah.
Immediately. So
But yeah, I remember having trouble with that fight. In the game asks you like, hey, you can lower the difficulty if you want. I was like, no, no, we're gonna
how about you go fuck yourself?
because it's like they knew.
Yeah.
But because I would say, yeah, the PC versions of the Trails games are like I would say a little bit more challenging than the console ones that I've played so far. Even though like I steamrolled through, first chapter and then the second, and then I felt like third chapter gave me some trouble.
Okay, so yeah, so this was I'm reading it now. He had the dragon robot
Yeah.
thing. And every time you tried to use an art, he would AA cancel you.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah,
I
he
think, yeah,
kicked it. Yeah.
I don't think I lost him one time. But also, ever since Trails in the Sky the Third, I think I've been using a guide for the entire games.
Oh, whoa!
Yeah.
Why?
Um, because there's so many like easily missable like missions and collectibles
Mm.
that I mean, I'm not like you know cheating. I'm just like,
No.
all right, what's the map? What's the you
Yeah.
know you mean like the secret missions and whatnot? So like I do end up becoming like pretty powerful, but there's so much stuff in these games that like are just hidden. You can't, like hidden like events and stuff that you'll never see. And it's like, all right, well,
Did you do all the moon doors and all that shit? And
no, I
I
didn't.
tried. I fucking tried. I was like, I fucking do that.
What I've learned with the Trails games is like it's okay.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to do enough. You don't have to do
Yeah.
all of it. Like these games are already so long, and the
Yeah.
series is so long. Whatever. If
Well, I feel like me when I reach a point where I'm over it, I'm just over it. Like there,
yeah.
because I ran into that part with Reverie where I finished the main story of Reverie, and then I was like, wait, I know there's like, then it basically you have like a Tartarus section. I'll just put it that way, and then there's like a final boss, and then the ending. I was like, I took like a 2 week break, and then like, all right, let's finish this.
Trails of Cold Steel 2 is the same way.
That scene isn't all that important in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it's not. Like what is it like what happened there with Trails of Cold Steel 2? Like
I
that
recently saw
the
a
there's
video
the,
that somebody said they think Falcom fucked up, or they assumed that people um they assumed that people played Cold Steel 2 New Game Plus because they have that big lore dump in Cold Steel 3 that refers to that same
oh,
cutscene.
yeah. Well, there's like the real ending of Cold Steel 2,
Yes.
and then there's the extra semester you get at Thor's
Yeah.
Academy
Yep.
with the giant dungeon
Yeah.
that's like a ridiculous length after all the story is done.
Yeah.
Like you have like no incentive or
It's like an
motivation
extra
to
15
finish.
hours.
Yeah.
I did it.
And I'm like, dude, fuck this. This is stupid. Um and yeah, I don't know. But I will say the like small mini dungeon at the end, very
Loved it.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Would have meant a lot more to me had I played the games in order.
Don't you
Not
feel a
my
little
fault.
cheated? Do you
Yeah,
feel a little
not my
cheated
fault.
kind of that we got these like in fucked up order?
Well, yes and no, because for some reason, at the same time, me and you got into these games,
Mhm.
like a little bit after that, the popularity of this series has like exploded in the West. And I don't know what happened. I don't know why or what happened, but it's like popping off. The Trail series is like going crazy with popularity right now. It's
Yeah.
skyrocketing. And good, man, because these games are phenomenal and this series is phenomenal and it's not doing anything like any other game series. It's got a
No.
continuous story, and it's just like, hey, you're gonna play all these. Go fuck yourself, and you're gonna love them. I've said them time and time again. I think it's awesome. I think the bar to entry is so high.
It's dedication.
Yeah, that like it's you're part of an exclusive club when you get caught up. Like, not many
Yeah.
people can do this.
No.
I just saw a Reddit post where a guy played all of them in like 3 months, and I'm like, you're an animal.
Wow.
You're an animal. Yeah,
That's a hefty undertaking. That's hefty.
yeah. You gotta have the
But he
attention span of
probably
an
loved every
elephant.
second of it. He probably loved every second of it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, like you gotta have the attention span of like an elephant.
Mhm.
Like those motherfuckers don't forget anything.
No.
And because like for me and you, this has been like a what 3 or 4 year journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I think the most I've ever beaten in a single year is 2 of them. Because I think I finished second chapter this year. Definitely
Oh.
did because I remember doing it at this house. And I think I'm gonna finish. Well, I might. Yeah, I'll finish second chapter and third this year. And I finished I think 3 and 4 in the same year.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, I finished the Liberal arc, Crossbell, and yeah, I beat 4 this year.
Yeah, you're out of control.
Yeah, dude, it's one of those things like you just once you're invested in the story, you're like, I need to know what happens.
Well,
Like, and
to be
it's such a
fair,
fun ride.
you said that Zero and Azure are shorter, right? They're not as
Yeah,
long.
like Zero, I think took me like 30 to 40 hours, but I
Yeah.
feel like there's shit I missed in that. And then I think Azure took me like 50 or something like that.
Mm.
But those two are some of the best. Those two are probably my two favorite games in the series, specifically Azure. But Zero is also really good.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying Zero. So after I beat Trails in Sky third, I jumped right into Zero, no hesitation, because these two
It
games are the ones that I was
happened like
really looking forward to.
yeah,
Um, because I kind of just played Trails in the Sky, just kind of get through it and get to Azure, or yeah, I guess kind of get to Azure. Um, but I ended up loving those games too. So I mean, I'm really enjoying it, man. The new artwork is nice. The new 3D modeling on everything is nice. I love the new quality of life changes. Like
yeah.
um, like the ability to customize your experience a little bit with the voice acting and
Mhm.
the ability to the slider for the speed gauge, the high speed mode, and like
Yeah.
autosave is in the game, and there's a lot of really nice stuff for Trails of Zero, and I think the characters are really cool so far. I'm still in chapter one, so I haven't gotten too far, but yeah, really enjoying it, man. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, my favorite character probably in that arc is probably gonna be you'll meet him. He's one of the gang leaders, that's all I'll say.
I met the
Oh,
guy. Well, I met Wald and
Wazi.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Wazi's, like, one of my favorite you'll see why. He's pretty funny. And then I like Randy as well. I'm a big Randy guy.
yeah. Randy's funny. I like Randy. I love his energy. He's just like, yo,
But I
what's
will
up,
say
baby?
my favorite Trails character I mean, he kinda tails off towards, like, the later arcs, but Prince Oliver as was always the funniest
Mm.
motherfucker. Like, the writing in that game would have me cracking up laughing.
So he better show up at some point in these two games because if he doesn't, the wedding at the end of Cold
It
Steel
makes no
4,
sense.
no, it makes sense in relation to like the end of the third,
Yeah.
but it comes out of nowhere, right? So like, I don't know. Maybe there's something that I missed along the lines, but
Mhm.
he definitely needed more character development with Sharon.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it makes no sense at all.
Well, apparently there's, like, mangas we didn't get, which is annoying. Like, there's the one with Crow that I really wanna read, so I'm gonna see if I can find a translated version of that.
That reminds me of Guilty Gear because a while
Yeah.
back I was gonna get into Guilty Gear and like try and like get all caught up in the story and games of that. But like, dude, there's all kinds of like novels that aren't translated and audio novels or whatever,
Yeah.
and none of it's available in the West. And
Yeah, that sucks.
that takes up the majority of the Guilty Gear story. The games don't even take up like the majority of it. The majority of it takes place outside of the video games. So I was like, all right, well, this isn't. I don't
Yeah,
care this much.
and it sucks for fans, not that, like, what do you expect them to do? They're not gonna take the time and money to translate all that shit for you, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think to this point, if you're a Japanese developer, you gotta realize that we eat this shit up.
Hmm.
Like, how many Japanese series has gotten super popular over here all of a sudden? Like, anime's popular as fuck over here, like, we
Yeah.
love it.
Well, I think what some are realizing now recently is that if you give people like a good jumping off point, they'll dive in, all the way. Like look at the Yakuza series, what happened after
Oh,
Kiwami,
yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah,
Like it
baby.
exploded in popularity. So I'm thinking maybe with the Cold Steel series, like it didn't take off originally, but maybe when they did the PS4 releases or something, people caught on and they're like, "Oh, no, this is phenomenal."
Yeah.
So
No, the
your PS
top tier RPGs.
your PS4 releases,
Yeah.
rest in peace.
Did you see yeah, I know, they're so fucked. I, like, stare at the boxes and get angry. Uh, did you see that they're putting out 3 and 4 for the PS5?
I did. I thought that was confusing because there's the PS4 versions,
Yeah, I don't know.
and
I mean, I ordered it because 'cause I'm a consumer whore, but yeah.
is it like a collector's edition, like a deluxe edition or anything, or is it
No
just a?
no, I think it's just a double pack.
It's interesting. So
Alright,
the other game I've been playing is Lethal Company.
tell me all about this.
Just a little bit. Just played Lethal Company a little bit with my friends. So this is a really fun early access game, and the whole concept is that you're these scavengers that go to these different planets, these different moons, and get all this scavenged items. And there's these monsters on these planets that try to kill you.
Yeah.
But the game is like super super fun, almost isometric like, and it gives me like very much like Among Us or like Fall Guys vibes, where it's just really fun to play in a party because there's proximity chat.
Oh.
So like you'll go down these hallways, or you and like it's like dark, like your batteries have flashlights and whatnot, like all classic survival games. Um, and you be like you'll hear like your buddies like voice fade out right in the distance, and it doesn't tell you if they're dead or not, right? It doesn't tell you if they're like dead or whatnot. So you kind of have to strategize and stick together, almost like in real life. But sometimes you'll hear like your buddy like exploring like the hallway around, and then their voice just goes silent in the middle of a sentence or something, right? And it's like, oh, I think he's dead. And these monsters pop up out of nowhere. And they're not the scariest monsters because the game's kind of low poly, but they're really interesting. All these different monsters have different traits. Like there's these dogs that can hear you and they're blind. So if there's one around you and you're talking, it's going to come after you, and you have no way to defend yourself really until you get like a little further. Um, but even when you can defend yourself, you can't defeat like the biggest monsters and stuff. It's really fun. And it's the whole game's not supposed to be serious. It's very much comedy. There's a lot of really neat systems in it. Like there's walkie talkies that you can buy from the store and um, communicate long distance. And of course, they die over time. And one person can stay in the ship and see a map. If you guys want to do that and like use the walkie talkie to like guide you through the dungeon or whatever and scavenge the gear and come out, and it's a lot of fun.
Now,
It's
is one
it's
of these friends
really
Watson?
no Watson
Ah,
Watson didn't play. He's too much of a pussy. He thinks it's
okay.
too scary for him.
Okay, because he famously can't communicate. So if it's
That is true. That is true. We were trying to plan our Christmas party and we could not get a straight answer from either
oh,
Watson or our other friend
fucking
Robert.
Jesus,
So I had to ask his wife.
yeah. And we still don't have a straight answer from Mr. Berto. Fun fact.
Well, I think the consensus now is like we're going to do it on the 14th with or without Robert because what are we supposed
Yeah,
to do? You know,
correct. Yeah, at this
it's
point, though,
ridiculous.
yeah. Well, I was just like, we just selected a random weekend and just like, oh, I'm gonna be like, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
love you, Berto, but that's why you're on the misconduct list permanently.
yeah, it's got to happen.
All right. Now that's a Lethal Company and it's early access on PC.
Yeah, yep, and it's popping off, dude. It's really popular.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. I'll
It's
have to
really
check
good.
that out. All right. So is that everything you've been playing? 'Cause I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
pretty
into
much,
mine.
pretty much.
So I randomly, you know how sometimes like you're at work and not everyone's a hardcore gamer like you are, and then they start mentioning like, oh, I bought Call of Duty.
Hmm.
So I had a coworker who recently bought a PS4 and he bought the new Call of Duty, and I was like, okay, and he's like asking me about like, oh yeah, like all like just questions like as a retired Call of Duty guy, like you're still a vet, like you're still like, hey, like this is called camping, or this is like you want to you only want to snipe on levels that are large. You don't want to have a sniper rifle on like on small enclosed levels
Sure.
unless you're an asshole. But anyway, like, and then I was just reminiscing with another guy about Call of Duty. Is like, you know what? I haven't played a good Call of Duty campaign in a while. So I fired up Call of Duty World War II. I was just in the mood for like a classic Call of Duty World War II story.
Okay.
And then so I played Call of Duty World War II, and I would say that campaign was really fucking enjoyable.
Yeah, I remember people really liking it.
Yeah. But then I would say, like, as I have gotten older, like become an adult and like you understand what really happened in World War II,
Hmm.
storming the beaches of Normandy, not that fun.
You're like, damn, this is pretty dark.
Yeah, I was like, you know what, this is pretty fucking terrifying. And then I'm thinking of like how many people grew up with like their grandfather who like served in World War II who just thought they were a giant pussy. I'm like, well, this is probably why.
Yeah, it's fair.
Like you're fucking chasing thirst traps on Twitter, your grandpa stormed Normandy.
Yep. That that makes a lot of sense actually. Or like even like closer, like Vietnam, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Vietnam is probably even more brutal. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, I get it.
Just kind of yeah, so just kind of put that in perspective. I was like, huh. And then it kind of led me down the rabbit hole. I tried Battlefield 1, which cuz I thought the premise of Battlefield 1 is really cool. It's World War 1 and we never
Sure.
get World War 1 games like ever. But then that campaign's a giant piece of shit.
Really?
Yeah, piece of shit. It's
Oh,
like six missions that are like random.
Watson's gonna be heartbroken if you tell him that. He loves that game.
Well, no, he loves the online because I actually talked to Watson about
Oh,
this.
did you? Okay.
Yeah, and fun fact, well, I don't know, Watson. He really not that it's a shocker that he disappointed me, but it's like I go, Watson, have you played the campaign of this? He goes, no, I only play it online. I'm like, really? Like, you're the World War II guy. Like, you're the fucking
Okay.
you're the guy I would consult. Like, yo, I want to play a really good World War II shooter. What's up? And you're gonna fucking tell me you only play it online? Jesus. So I think the next game I'm gonna check out is Brothers in Arms because I never really played those games, but I've heard really good things. So that's my like shooter kick. Also, Call of Duty World War or Cold War, love it. The campaign, really love it. It's like
Wait,
it's got this like 80s like espionage like type stuff going on. It's real fun.
which year was the Cold War one? Is
That's
that
like the
recent?
yeah, like probably think 2020, 2021.
I'm so out of touch with the Call of Duty games. I haven't played a
Well, I
Call of
only
Duty game in about 20 years.
well because I remember like Call of Duty multiplayer. Like I'll always say this about Call of Duty. Like I'm definitely retired. Like I don't play online anymore, but their shit always just works, and I think that's something to be said about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since I've heard of a Call of Duty game that lacked features or whatever.
Well,
I
apparently the
mean,
new one, the
even the new
campaign's
one
over
has
it.
like a campaign and whatnot, right? But it works. Everything works in it. So
Yeah. Well, there was that big controversy at the Game Awards where the God of War actor, forget his name, was
oh,
like,
it
"Oh, my
wasn't even a
speech is going
big
to be longer than
controversy.
Call of Duty's campaign." Oh
It was just
boy.
people getting butthurt about a joke like they normally do.
Yeah. So was on that shooter kick, and then I was playing a lot of Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core,
Okay,
and I had to put it down for a while though.
why?
Too much sad boy energy at that
Oh,
point.
okay. Yep, yep. You did tell me that. Yep,
Yeah,
that's fair.
I was like, this game's a little too sad right now,
Mhm.
and because it was at a weird time for me because like I had just had a buddy I went to the parole academy with die, and then like you're dealing with like your buddies like Angeal and them like and
Mhm.
let's just say this game does not have a happy ending. Let's just put it that way. Well
Oh,
documented, but
yeah. Yeah. I was say,
yeah.
is it? No. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love Crisis Core, and
Oh, it's a great game.
it's got one of my favorite soundtracks
Yeah,
of all time.
beautiful soundtrack. Beautiful soundtrack. A little too
Um,
beautiful.
am I crazy about what's happening with Zach right now? No, I'm not. But because like I'm trying to talk about this without spoiling things, right? But like sometimes
Just
things
leave
are
it things
just
as it. Yeah,
yeah. Sometimes things are just okay. We don't have to do a lot of fan service. We don't have to please everybody. Sometimes things are just okay and perfect the way they are. I'm gonna
yeah.
let it go. I'm gonna see how it works out in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But
I will say I give Square enough. They earned enough leeway with how good remake was
in
that
16,
I'll allow them to fuck up. If
yeah,
I'll allow a little room for fuck up here.
because we've been well documented. Nomura is a fucking madman, right?
Yeah,
Someone's got to put him on a leash, and
yeah,
it seems like he's getting a little nuts with Final
yeah,
Fantasy VII remake. So
yeah.
we got to keep eyes on the Final Fantasy VII
Right.
remake situation.
Now we'll give them room to fuck up, but not a royal fuck up. We can't have a royal fuck up.
Yeah,
But yeah, I had to put that game down because it's like the sad boy energy was. I can't.
yeah.
So
No, I
we're,
get
we're
that.
we're gonna revisit that in 24 and finish her off and be ready
Sure.
for rebirth. I
So you're
took
gonna
like
try and finish it before
yeah,
Rebirth.
yeah. I'm like on chapter 8 or 9, so I'm like pretty far into it.
Grace's Core has some pretty notoriously hard boss fights.
I haven't run into anything that was like too overwhelming. I would say. I think the
Yeah, I
hardest
don't.
fight was like I wouldn't say hard. It was just kind of annoying. Was Bahamut?
I don't remember ever having like. I remember dying quite a bit to this one random boss, but I don't remember
Yeah, I
like
don't.
getting
There's nothing that's
frustrated.
been like a major threat to me so far that I can
I
think of.
I did beat it when I was a kid, so I know it can't be too bad, right? So
I think I would have hated playing that on PSP. Like, what the fuck?
it's probably the
Like,
best looking PSP game of all time, I would
yeah,
say.
I would say that. Yeah, yeah. I've been playing that, and then was playing Lost Odyssey for a little bit, and I put that down for the same reason.
Okay,
Just too much sad boy energy. Like, I
sure.
just can't. This guy's like, oh, my name's Kime, and I'm sad because everyone I make friends with dies. I'm like, oh, Okay. I don't want to get
Well,
close to anybody.
you got to be in the right headspace, man. You got to be in the right headspace when you play a game. If you're not vibing with it because you're not in the right headspace,
Yeah, you
you
gotta
got to
put it
put
down.
it down because you'll ruin your experience for yourself.
Yeah, that's what I did. I'm like, you know what? Well, because there was a scene, there's like a certain scene that's like really sad, and it made me sad. I was like,
Hmm.
you know what? Let's not play this right now.
So I started that game when I was a teenager and I never finished it, but
So
I always wanted
here's,
to go back.
dude, I recommend it. It looks phenomenal. One thing I'll give Microsoft their flowers for is the backwards compatibility stuff they've done with their consoles is great.
Hmm.
Because like that game looks so great, upscaled, looks beautiful. The graphics are great. The soundtrack is incredible. And I had this epiphany. Now, bear with me here.
Okay, hit me with it.
So, you know how you or earlier you said like Xbox, they're known for just killing IP.
Mhm.
So think about what they had. They had Lost Odyssey, which was basically their Final Fantasy.
Yep.
They had Blue Dragon, which is basically their Dragon Quest.
Yep.
And then they had Infinite Undiscovery, which I didn't know was made by Tri-Ace.
Yeah.
So they had their Star Ocean.
Oh, Infinite Undiscovery sucks ass.
Actually, Revisionist, not that bad of a game.
For you?
Yeah, I played a little bit of it, and I really actually liked what I played.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, but they had their 3 pillars there and proceeded to do nothing with it.
Well, it seemed like they were expecting like the JRPG players to immediately come adopt them from Sony,
Yeah,
and it's
no,
like you got to give them some time. Like
that's a slow burn. Yeah,
yeah, Sony's well embedded with the JRPGs, since their foundation.
yeah. But I'm like looking back on, it, I'm like shocked they never did anything else with those games.
Yeah,
And 2 out of 3 of those games are beloved.
yeah, especially Blue Dragon. Like Blue Dragon was actually kind of huge, I think.
Yeah, wasn't it like it was like creators of like Dragon Quest, Chrono Trigger, and Final Fantasy. I'm like, what happened here?
Yeah, I think the soundtrack was actually from the Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross guy.
Yeah. So yeah, like it's just how do you fumble it that hard?
Oh no, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Was it Uematsu who did it?
It was Yumatsu. Yeah,
Yeah. So like look at the pedigree of that game. It's just like we're done with this. No more.
yeah.
Mana, no mas.
Akira Toriyama. Yeah, dude. Wow.
Yeah, like so it's like how do you I don't know, like because Microsoft, and I guess we can get into that for real quick. They're like in a really weird spot. And I feel like they've been in a really weird spot this entire generation.
Even last generation, I think, like a long time.
Yeah, and I don't know, like I just feel like we have the same conversations over and over again with Microsoft, like, hey, where are the games? And like you've been showing me Hellblade for fucking 3 years now, it feels like.
Well, Hellblade and God, what's that game from the Pillars of Eternity world?
I don't fucking know. Is it Avowed? No.
Yes, Avowed. Avowed.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I've been waiting for Avowed for like what seems like forever, man. But
Yeah.
like this goes all the way back to the beginning of the Xbox One era. And I remember on the Retro and Modern Network podcast, every year we'd be like, dude, this has got to be the year for Xbox. Like we've been waiting, and this is the time. And then that time would never come. They never had the lineup of bangers. They never had a good year. It was just constant disappointment from them. And I don't understand how one company can be mismanaged so badly. I mean, that it's got to come straight from the top. You have to imagine.
Yeah, like what are we doing?
And all reports suggest that the Xbox Series consoles are getting
Trounced.
absolutely
Yeah.
crushed in sales, dude. It must be really bad.
Yeah, this could be the last Xbox we see.
I think it's going to be. I think the next hardware you see from Xbox is going to be like streaming platform
But even so,
services.
so let's say Microsoft gets out of the hardware. Like we just have Game Pass. That's it.
Mhm.
Why? What? Besides being a streaming service where I can play a bunch of games on it, like give me a reason why anything exclusive to it I should buy. Like it's
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't disagree. I think what you're gonna see with that, especially, is the Netflix effect, where like every 6 months or a year, they're like, "Hey, we're raising prices again," you know,
yeah,
and that got so annoying with Netflix. Dude, Netflix is
I got
so out of
old.
control. I I canceled Netflix, and then I was like, "Yes, finally, dude," because Netflix got to like what $20 a month or
Yeah,
so
it was like
higher.
1999. Yeah,
It's like, God, back
but then
off, dude.
see the thing that kills me about Netflix. Did you see they put out a Yu Yu Hakusho live action?
Yeah, I'm not watching that, dude. I'm not
I'm like so
watching that.
curious. I don't have Netflix. I canceled it years ago, but I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers! I kind of want to watch
Why,
this.
dude? Watch the animated version. It's better.
I have,
I know, but like, watch it again instead of the live action was gonna be terrible. You know this.
but it's
They're
the
all bad.
curiosity.
I don't share that curiosity. I'm
I've
sorry.
I've never seen the only live action adaptation of an anime I ever saw was Death Note, and immediately I was out on anything
Yeah.
else.
Did you watch the
Cowboy
Dragon
Bebop.
Ball?
No, I've never seen that movie.
I don't even know where you'd find it, dude. I don't even know if it's available in streaming services or
Oh, I'm
anything.
sure it is.
It's awesome.
I mean, there's nothing I love more than shitty movies, but I've never seen. It was just never on my radar. Because I remember I saw the poster and like that's gonna be a turd. I'm not watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember for Easter one year, my mom got me the Dragon Ball Evolution movie on DVD, and she was so stoked, dude. She
Ooh.
was like, "Oh, like I found this Dragon Ball movie you don't have," and she was like super excited to give it to me, and I was
I
like,
didn't
"Oh
have it for a
wow!"
reason, Mom.
I was like, "Wow, thanks, mom. I really appreciate
I mean,
it."
the effort was there.
Yeah,
All right. So let's get into the meat and potatoes. Have you been following this drama with the completionist?
yeah, I have actually. So,
Okay.
um, I saw you on Twitter beefing with some people about this.
Oh yeah. And here's my issue. Here's my biggest issue. So I watched Carl Jost's video, and I agree that there's definitely some questions as far as like
Hmm.
why wasn't the money donated? Like what was the deal here? And I didn't watch Muda's video because I don't know who the fuck that is. Uh, but then Gerard's apology, where my issue is with him, is he didn't really answer like why the money took so long to get donated.
Hmm.
Um, and I think what happened was he was honestly under the impression that the money had already been donated, and then that video came out where they leaked like whatever call they were on him. They
Hmm.
leaked pieces of it, and he makes the statement, "Oh, I found out in 2021." Like, okay, this came out in 2023, so like there was a year plus of like you knowing about this, and why wasn't anything done? That's my biggest question with him.
Right.
But then that leads me to other questions with him as far as like, are you in charge of the Open Hand Foundation? Were you the one who makes sure the money gets donated? Like, what was like? I know he was on the board of directors, but like that's literally a board of directors, so that's a
Hmm.
group decision to do something. So that's my issue with Gerard specifically. Um, but then my issue, and why I was beefing with so many people, is people like talk a lot of shit on the internet, like a lot of shit.
Yeah, of course.
So there was one dude called Verlis. He's a Pokemon YouTuber. Also, when I found out he was a furry, I just stopped making fun of him because I was like, dude, it's okay. I
Your
just told him,
life's been hard enough.
I'm like, dude, I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I'm not you. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, uh, so like a lot of people were like, oh, he's a piece of shit, and he's using his mother's death to fucking as a crutch to embezzle money, and like talking all this wild shit about his family. I'm like, clearly, some of these people have never been like punched right in the mouth
Yeah,
for
sure.
like some of the shit you say. Because like
Absolutely.
so the minute I lose respect for people is when they start like throwing insults at somebody when they're trying to like criticize something they did. So even Carl Jobst, like in some of his response videos to Gerard, he's calling him like a little bitch and a cancer. I'm like, dude, what the like? What's that about?
Yeah. No.
And that's where my issue is. Like, I don't like people on the internet who hide behind their keyboard and will run their mouths about people's families and all their character and all this stuff. But you put that person in front of them, they won't say anything. Could guarantee it.
Um, yeah, I agree with that. I was just writing down some thoughts here about the situation because it's very complicated. Um, and I don't really know exactly how I feel about it. Were you a completionist fan?
Yeah, I actually. So I've been a completionist fan since like the OG days,
Hmm.
and like I just think Gerard definitely has more questions to answer now. Like I don't think his apology video or whatever that statement was like, I don't know. I don't really feel like it was like well thought out.
It
I
was
do
clearly
agree. Yeah, I do agree that like he wants to sue people or he might sue somebody, but that leaves him open to discovery. So like,
it was clearly written by a lawyer, in my
yeah,
opinion.
I agree with that.
That apology video was nothing but like, hey, to like him to his lawyer, like, hey, please,
Mm,
like, give me a video that doesn't incriminate myself, and I need to make a statement so that because I mean he waited weeks, man. It
yeah,
had to have been like 3 weeks before he put that
yeah, and
video out.
right, and then that's what they came up with. Like, I mean, maybe he was in a position because like the cancel culture, and then here's the other thing I'm gonna get like into an issue with all these like retro game YouTubers that were like initially sided with Gerard, or, like kind of defended him, all then not all distanced themselves from him.
Hmm.
And I'm like, until the facts come out, like until like it's proven, signed, sealed, delivered that he's guilty of whatever the fuck he's being accused of, like don't bitch out.
Yeah. So sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you because
You're good.
I I have a lot to say about it, and I don't necessarily fall in the same camp you do. I don't think, because I don't want to say he's guilty, but and
He's
this is
not
what
not guilty.
this is what I said, because we talked about this a little bit on Frame Skip, and this is what I said to them. I said this doesn't pass the smell test, right? This is what I would say when there's something not right about a situation, like in your gut.
Yeah,
And I'm not an accountant or anybody that really understands the inner workings of like business money. Um, so I don't know what you do with $600,000 when you're holding it in a charity account, right?
yeah,
Here's here's where I fall though, specifically in that the reason I can't back the completionist at all anymore is that he was made aware that the money wasn't being donated and that his previous claims that um, the money was going to these very specific places were untrue. Even if he was misled to think they were true, he now knows they're untrue, right? He continues to make that claim via fundraisers that this money has been donated, this money is being donated to these very specific places. And by the way, it's not just like um he thought they were being donated. Like the specific places that he was saying that where
yeah.
it
The
was
ones they were
going
working
to,
with, they had never worked with.
no, like it was a straight up lie, and you can't do that. If anything, that's enough for me to be like, I don't like this guy. I don't trust him anymore, right? Um, and as far as I know, he was the main income for this fundraiser. He was like the main guy.
Yeah,
So because like you said, he was on the board of directors, which raises a whole other question, right? How can you sit on the board of directors for a charity and not know where the money is going? What is that board doing? Why is there board of directors if you guys
right.
aren't talking about where the money for this charity is going?
Yeah,
Um, and then I don't know if you saw the last thing that they leaked about their interview with him. It
he
was
sounded
that
scared.
he
Yeah.
tried to fucking bribe them into like not releasing, or he purposely like, is there
No.
anything I
Yeah.
can do? Right?
Yeah. Like.
Is there anything I can do right now for you to not release this information? Because he was gonna ruin him, and it's like, well, yeah, it's gonna ruin you, dude. Like you did some nefarious things. Now here's the other thing that I gotta say with it, right? Is that like I truly don't know what you could possibly do with the money if he was just holding on to it. That is another issue to me. The first issue straight up with the completionist for me is the dishonesty. I don't fuck with that, right?
Yeah.
That shows me that, like, okay, I don't think he's a good person. As far as like a financial crime, I don't know anything about that. Is there a way he could safely embezzle this money from a charity? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's possible, I guess. There's other charities that have gotten caught doing it. Um, but why was it sitting in the account for a decade?
Right. And
That's my question. And like, and also, dude, like the fact that he donated it immediately
right.
after that video came out is like that is a massive red flag to me. And it's like, I don't know, dude. Like I said, it does not pass the smell test to me. I don't like it. Do I like these people talking shit on the internet? No. Am I glad that it got, you know, revealed? Kinda. Like, I don't think this is. I don't think you come out of this looking good in any way.
Well, here's I guess my final stance on it. Like I think ultimately, like you just said, like something don't add up. The math ain't mathing, and like I feel like I honestly feel like this was a fuck up. Like they fucked up or someone fucked up, and I don't know because like Gerard kind of comes out as like a giant idiot and all this. Like it's kind of what I the vibe I got where I'm like. I listened to that recording where they, again, didn't even tell them he was being recorded, which is a little fucked up, but whatever.
Sure.
Um, and he sounded scared. He's like, "Yeah, like fuck, this is gonna ruin me." And then he alluded to like him being friends with John Tron, who he turned out to be a giant racist. And I forget who the other one was. There was somebody else he was associated. Oh, like the whole stuff with G4, and like it just seems like everything he's attached to just goes to shit. And so this coming out about him knowing, which I genuinely feel like he knew because again he said I found out in 2021.
Sure.
Like he said that, and so I just feel like his statement that he made just didn't answer any questions. It kind of opened more questions. So that's just where I'm at. I think he's gonna. I don't think he's coming out of this. Like I think the completionist is over personally. I do, but
Well,
I do. Good.
he still donated $600,000 to charity.
Yeah.
Like it worked out. See, but the thing is that like he definitely, it's not just a fuck up because even after these guys interviewed him, and if he didn't know, he knew then, right?
Right. Yeah. He knew. He definitely knew.
He then had another fundraiser where he said the same shit. He lied again,
Yeah.
and it's like you that is a purposeful lie at that point. Like eh, if he didn't know the money was donated and that these other board of directors or whatever, someone wasn't doing their job. All right, we got to figure this out immediately,
Yeah.
front and center.
Hmm.
Why are we having another fundraiser where we're straight up lying again? And it's like,
Yeah.
I just, I don't fuck with that, man. I think at the very least, he's extremely dishonest. At the very least, is he a white collar criminal? Maybe not.
I would go no. Like again. I don't think he's smart enough to be a criminal. Like, you know what I mean? Like that. This is a
Yeah,
smart crime. Like
yeah,
it's just for me. What doesn't jive is like I said. He said he found out in 2021 and money wasn't donated yet. I agree with you. He had the fundraisers and he was doing the indie land and okay, like I get all those things. Like I don't think he had bad intentions. Like I really don't think he embezzled the money. Like I don't believe that.
right,
I just feel like it's like all that information was public that it wasn't donated. Just people just never looked.
right.
But the other thing I don't like is like these tabloid YouTube guys, man. Like I just do not like. I do not like the cancel culture that's been created with this. And I get he's going to get backlash and he's going to get a giant pee whack, and I think he deserves that for sure. But then they fucking run his family through the mud, talk shit about his mother's death, all this other wild extra shit that I don't like.
Yeah, I mean,
And it
you
just
gotta have limits.
yeah, and then like this YouTube fucking tabloid TMC piece of shit car was like, "Oh, I never made this video for good intentions. I make videos to make money." Then fuck you, dude. Don't sit there and say that, "Oh, Gerard's got blood on his hands," because think of all the money that could have been donated and saved life. Like, no, he doesn't. He doesn't have any blood on his hands. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't do that.
so that was my other question was, so why was someone looking? right? Does this
Yeah,
guy just go through like all these internet personalities like
I think
backstories
somebody
looking for
tipped him
shit?
off or something like that. I don't know.
Because like yeah, you like who does that in their free time? They're just like, oh, I'm gonna go look in this internet personality's charity to see if he's actually
Yeah,
donating the money. Like that doesn't seem like a normal person thing to do unless that's your whole shtick is
yeah, that's
like
what his YouTube
exposing
that's what
people,
his
you know?
channel is. His channel is gaslighting fucking like, that's what he does. He's got videos about Billy Mitchell, which, I mean, it's noted that Billy Mitchell's a narcissistic piece of shit. Like, what do you
Carl Jobs is his name, right?
Yeah, yeah, I don't fuck with dude. Like, I think he's a YouTube tabloid fucking cunt, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's made 3 videos on The Completionist.
Yeah, and, like, and his ads will be baked right in there. He's making money off that. He's making dough off, again, whatever your moral stand, he's making dough off Gerard, like, kinda getting his career ruined. Because I don't think anyone's gonna fuck with Gerard anymore. Because, like, how could you really? Because,
Well,
like, they took him out of
also
Sea of Stars. They took his character out.
so he's made 3 videos, right?
Yeah,
And, um, so the thumbnails is the first thumbnail is Gerard's face with
yeah,
the words, "They kept the money."
yeah,
And the title is "The Charity is Lying to You." The next video is Gerard's face looking sad, and then it's "Fraud, Theft, Lies."
yeah,
And the open hand charity scam is so much worse. It's like he's implying via his thumbnail like nefarious white collar crime. It's
yeah.
not like a like, oh, here's this evidence, what's happening. It's like, in my opinion, that's enough. If there was no, if there was no crime, that's enough for a libel suit. But this guy is this I mean this channel is trash. Like,
It's just YouTube fucking TMZ, and,
dude,
like, I mean, good
who the fuck cares about Billy Mitchell in 2023?
it's
There's
just
so many Billy
yeah,
Mitchell videos, dude.
yeah.
That's like his
This is
biggest
what he
thing.
does. This is what he fucking does, and, like, then there's all these people fucking, for lack of a better fucking term, fucking nut loving fucking, that they're like, "Oh, yeah, good job, Carl. Good job exposing him." And again, this other guy, Muda, I don't really know who he is, but he's involved in it too. And it's just now the popular thing is to, let's make a video talking shit on the completionist. Like, even what's this Penguin Zero made a video too, or like, okay, like, all you guys literally are making videos about the same fucking thing. I think the only one who ever made a video that made like who talked rationally was Asmongold, where the fuck his name is. Asmongold,
Yeah. Yeah, I
where
like Asmongold.
he was like rational, like, yeah, I think he fucked up, and then he was like, then they showed him the video of, like, Gerard's audio. He's like, well, yeah, nothing he said shocked me. He's, like, scared about his career being ruined that he worked 10 years for. So yeah, like, what the come on, like, even he said that, like, he didn't say anything he didn't say anything bad. So I don't know. It's just a messy situation for sure, but I think Gerard's also got to be smarter, and, like, he lawyered up, and now this is what it looks like. Oh, they're telling him don't say shit, prepped statements. You look fucking horrible right now. So it's just,
So I just counted 16 Billy Mitchell videos on this guy's channel.
yeah. Like, at what point is he going to send money to Billy Mitchell? Fuck, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's like, what is this guy doing? I
Yeah,
mean,
he's
he's
a
got a
YouTube.
ton of subscribers, like
Yeah, because people,
949,000.
yeah, people love this shit. It's YouTube fucking tabloids. It's YouTube TMZ.
Mm. And
Fuck.
it says speedrunning content for absolute legends. None of this is speedrunning content.
No, it's just fucking this bullshit. Like, and that's why I called him out on him. Like, you're a fucking YouTube tabloid gaslighting asshole, dude. I fucking hate. I do not like you.
But I mean, that's a separate issue from the actual completionist
Yeah.
issue here with the open hand charity.
Mhm.
I just I
I
want to
don't
know
think
the backstory.
he's not gonna go to jail. I don't know if he'll even get audited personally, but
I mean, there is an audit happening apparently, but I want to know the backstory because what really happened,
yeah.
And what I'm worried about is that I think I remember at some point them saying that Gerard's family is on the Open Hand Foundation.
Yeah, so somebody in his family fucked him, yeah,
Well,
or did
yeah,
some
what
yeah,
I'm worried about is that maybe someone else in his family was committing a crime and
maybe.
Gerard's covering for them by like, you know, there's that possibility there too. I'm sure the
Yeah.
completionist isn't a poor guy. Like he probably makes a good
No,
amount of
yeah,
money from his
yeah, I
YouTube.
think yeah.
So
He's a successful dude, but I don't know. Like, it's just it's a shame. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I've been a fan of the completionist, like their content for probably a decade now. Like, I'm trying to think, like when I started watching the completionist, and it just sucks that like he's always been attached to just negative shit, and like now this is kind of, I think, the final nail in the coffin for him. So like that's just, I guess, maybe the human element for me. And like I deal with fucking criminals every day. Like, so I fucking, this is, to me, this is like meh. Like, as far as like severity of crime. So I guess I can show a little bit more empathy as far as like, but so, and the reason I'm saying like he's been attached to negative shit, and now that it's remembered, he was also friends with fucking Pro Jared. Remember that fucking shit?
wasn't Pro Jared like cleared though? I thought
Uh,
Pro
he
Jared
was
came back. And
cleared
I
of
thought
like he was cleared of like any crime, but he was definitely cheating on his wife.
I don't give a fuck about that though, because I thought
But you know how
something
that is in the game space, in that medium, like
because like something
yeah,
happened where he was originally accused of
yeah. The
like
reason he
child
cute, yeah, child
like
porn, basically
but
getting news from kids. Yeah,
but then it came out that they lied or something like
yeah,
that, and yeah, so I thought he was cleared, but I don't follow this bullshit, so maybe I'm wrong. Mix it with something else.
yeah.
But the cheating on your wife, like that's personal drama. Like
But you know how that shit is in this space, man. Like,
that was
people
like
are
when they were
fucking.
roasting the Ubisoft CEO for doing that, right?
Yeah,
Like, who cares?
sometimes our boys fucking slinging dick. All right,
Yeah.
mind your business. All right. So anything in closing on that nonsense with Gerard and
No. Yeah. So like I'm on a complete third party here because I never watched the completionist. It's not the kind of video game content I consume. I know he's like old school YouTube though.
yeah, he's like OG YouTube.
So it sucks. This has been a rough year for him.
Yep.
Um,
But you got to be accountable as well. You got to be
yeah,
accountable. And right now, I'm not feeling that accountability from Mr. Dragon Rider Khalil. But
yeah. I don't fuck with the dishonesty from him, but
yeah,
who knows? Who knows what the whole backstory is? That's where I kind of am sitting right now.
yeah,
Is like we got to find out what the whole backstory is. It's not
correct.
lawyered up.
So official stance of the Alpha Nerds: we need more answers. We don't fuck with the dishonesty. We don't fuck with it. So
Yeah.
next, these GTA 6 leaks. Did you see that one of the hackers is like in the hospital, mental hospital, like
Hmm.
definitely?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I saw some clarification on this. Is that
I
like
guess dude's like really legitimately sick though.
well, yeah, because like for some like dude, I hate video game journalist websites. We were just talking about tabloids. Like they essentially might as well be tabloids because a lot of them were reporting that he got life in prison, and that's not
No,
true. It's
no,
an
he,
indefinite sentence, and
yeah,
it could be tomorrow he's released. It could be 1 year, or it could be the rest of his life.
yeah,
And it's like okay, that's very different from you got sentenced to life in a mental prison. Like
yeah.
let's be
Like,
clear, there's
sense
a
of
very
treatment. Like,
big difference.
they think this man needs help, and like from what I was reading, like our boy was whacked, like
Yeah.
just yeah. The elevator wasn't going to the top, unfortunately. And here is where my opinion is on it, because I think his lawyer's defense. I read a little bit of it where they're saying like, well, not it was not like Rockstar was hurt by the leak. If anything, it fucking blew up. But do you feel like somebody took advantage of this guy?
I haven't followed this story much. I
He
watched
was a
the
part of
leak.
a hacker group.
How could he be taken advantage of if
So, because I think he's got a very severe form of autism or something along those lines. Like,
oh
and not saying that like people who are autistic are like easily manipulated or anything, but like I could see a world where somebody gets like very radicalized, and
sure.
so I'm just kind of like, huh. But like, I don't know if like did this really need to be criminal? Like, I don't know if this was like,
Well, I think so. I think it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be a massive deal like it was. I don't think you should be going to prison
yeah,
for leaking a video game on the internet. I really don't. Right? Like,
yeah,
sure, we can fine him. The same way you get if you illegally download a movie or something. But
right,
to go to prison for it, to send like a teenager to prison seems so stupid and silly, man.
yeah,
Um, that seems ridiculous. And it's just these companies flexing their dick. Like Nintendo does this all the time, right? Like Nintendo tries to make examples out of people all the time.
Nintendo won't
Um,
send you to jail though. They'll just fucking make you poor the rest of your life.
but that guy did go to jail, right? He was
Oh, did
released from
he?
jail, and then
Oh
he
yeah.
still owed Nintendo like $6 million or something like that. His wages are gonna get garnished and stuff. It's like, come on, dude. Like,
Just
it's
fucked him up.
ridiculous. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if someone was taking advantage of him per se. I just think that he's a dumb kid who was doing stuff for internet clout, like a lot of dumb kids do these days. You know?
Yeah, and fucking now he's permanent or he's indefinitely in treatment. And that could be a while because who fucking knows when they kill.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I never
that's
even heard of a sentence like that.
well, this is Europe. You know, this isn't America. To be fair, in America, they'd pat him on the back, be like, "All right, here you go. Here's your complimentary handgun in a holster." Send him out his
Oh,
way.
fuck, dude. But then this leads me to another topic. So the Insomniac leaks, right?
This is
That was a big leak.
probably the most in-depth and biggest leak I've seen ever in the history of video games.
Well, and here's my thing though. Like, so the whole story was that these hackers initially like tried to get fucking $2 million
Mm-hmm.
out of Insomniac. They're like, "Yo, give us $2 million, or we're gonna leak this." And Insomniac's like, "Yeah, no." And then all this shit got leaked out there, and um, I messaged a friend of mine who was working at Insomniac, but unfortunately, she got laid off in those round of cuts. Unfortunately,
Right.
and she was even saying like, she felt bad for the people who got fucking basically doxxed, like their fucking I-9s and their fucking passports and shit, travel documents.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the sentiment from like certain corners of the game community that not to cover the leak?
Oh, like you mean kind of funny?
Yeah, them.
Um, there has been no greater joy in the last 2 days than seeing Greg Miller's community turn on him, dude. Because it's so clear from kind of funny, like because people were immediately so quick to call them out. They're like, "Well, where was the sentiment when Capcom and Nvidia and GTA 6 they all got leaked? Why didn't you guys have a problem covering that?"
Yeah.
And it's so clear. It's because Greg is friends with people in Insomniac. They put him in their video games, like so that is so obvious, dude. And Tim Geddes himself was like, "Well, yeah, if this was a PlayStation leak, we'd cover it." It's like you guys like there's first
It
off,
basically
Tim
is.
Tim Geddes is so stupid that he can't stop but incriminate himself and stuff like this. Like
Yeah.
he's a completely brainless idiot. And dude, it's massively hypocrite. I don't know, tripping over my words.
Hypocritical. Yeah.
Yeah, hypocritical. Um, but it's their job, right? Like you guys have a show reporting news. That's what you signed up for, and you should be talking about this. It sucks.
Yeah.
You can say that like we feel really sorry about the people at Insomniac, but like
Yeah, that's
this
bullshit though,
goes
yeah.
back to like the age old debate, dude, with like video game news. It's like these journalists are not journalists. They're just reporting public information and regurgitating it.
Yeah.
That's all they do. Like there's so few actual journalistic stories in the gaming space. There's no one going to these developers and like asking them the hard questions. Every single one of these people are worried about their
Are we gonna get
access.
games? Yeah, like,
Yeah, their access and their future in the gaming industry. They're using it as a back door to get into like the actual game development industry. I mean, dude, the person who gave Last of Us 2 a 10 later got hired at Naughty Dog. And nobody is concerned about it. Alana Pierce got hired at Sony Santa Monica. And it's like, what happened there, right? Like there had to have been some crossover. And I mean, say what you will about Kotaku, and I agree Kotaku is a terrible, shitty company. But they got their access revoked from Bethesda.
yeah.
And it was because they covered a Bethesda leak. And it's like, okay, So this stuff kind of stuff really happens. Bethesda was like, okay, we don't like you anymore. No more video games.
Yeah, Claude,
And
we'll
it's
just
like,
fucking buy it. Like, fuck
yeah.
off.
Well, I think then Kotaku was like, well, we're not going to cover Bethesda anymore. They had some sort of statement like that. It's like, all right, well,
Yeah, they
fuck
got all
off.
poopy pants like Kotaku
Yeah,
does.
yeah. But, um, yeah, I don't know, man. It's extremely clear and hypocritical that like, and it's always been clear to me ever since the Colin Moriarty thing
Oh
that
yeah.
Greg Miller is a complete sham, and that dude has no morals, and it's all complete like face to him. And you can even hear it when like David Jaffe talks about him. David Jaffe's like, I've never seen someone so quick to turn when they're on camera. Like he's a completely different person. And
Yeah.
Colin said that multiple times too. Now I don't think that like Tim Geddes is a different person. I think Tim Geddes is a complete idiot, and that I don't know anything about the rest of the people there anymore. Like Blessing, I don't know anything about him or Andy Cortez or like any of those guys.
The
So
only one I ever liked was Nick when Colin left, and then kind of I don't even know if he's still there.
yeah,
But
yeah, Nick's still there. I think a lot of them don't even they're not like the main cast isn't even on a lot of shows now. When you go to their channel, like a lot of it's like nonsense. I don't even know how they afford that new studio. I
I
have
don't know.
no idea where their money comes in, dude.
I don't.
But
Probably from sponsors and all that bullshit. I don't think are they even on Patreon. I don't. I
yeah,
don't.
they're still
I
on
don't.
Patreon. Their videos don't do that well though. Like not well enough for the kind of space and employees and stuff they have. Like
Yeah.
it would be good for like me and you. I think we could make a living off of the number of because like for instance, their newest video has 6,000 views. The one before that,
Wow.
10,000, 16,000,
So
15,000.
yeah. So
That's not
YouTube really. Yeah.
that's not massive numbers on YouTube,
No.
So I don't know.
I don't.
But either way, the Insomniac leaks. Um,
I'm excited. That was all exciting news for me. Even though
sure,
there are a lot of people. Sorry to cut you off. There are a lot of people being poopy pants at Insomniac's like the Marvel studio now.
I would agree with that. I would agree
Yeah.
with that because I am sad that Infamous got that was an Insomniac, right? That was
No, that was Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch, yeah. Um, but dude, they do so good.
Yeah. I mean, like.
They do so good, and that Wolverine game coming up, it looks dope.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw how extensive these leaks were, dude, but you could actually download a package file and play the demo that they had. You could play what the game has done up to this point. If you had a not, I'm sorry, if you have a dev kit PS5, you can
Yeah.
do that. You can't just download it to your regular PS5. Also, I did see today that they're tracking who has it. So and people are getting letters in the mail from like their ISPs and stuff.
Like
So
we're coming for you, you motherfucker.
yeah, don't do that. But
See, I've been trying to avoid like I looked at the list and I saw what was listed. I didn't watch any gameplay videos because like I don't want anything spoiled for myself.
mhm.
And like for me, like I know somebody who worked on a lot of these games, so it's like even when I messaged them, I was like, hey, sorry about the leak, but I'm really excited about the work you were doing. Great job.
Mhm.
So it's like for me, out of respect for them, like I don't want to like, you know, so I can get that aspect, but I'm excited though. Like I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, I am too. So you actually didn't look at the leaks.
No, I didn't look at any. I looked at the list of what was leaked, like
Mhm.
as far as what was coming, but I didn't look at any gameplay videos or anything like that.
It is insane.
Why don't you
What?
recap it for us? What do we got?
So okay, hold on. Let me see. There was a. All right. Give me. I wasn't prepared for that. Okay, here we go. Um. Nope. I'm not prepared for this. There's a whole list that I'm trying to find
See, when I
of.
looked, it was like a tweet I looked at.
Yeah, there's an entire list of stuff that I'm trying to find on gaming leaks and rumors, like a compilation, and it is massive, dude. Because it wasn't just like the Wolverine leaked. It was like their whole. Yeah, okay, here we go. So for Wolverine 2026,
Yeah.
there was concept art leaked, gameplay footage, um, animation footage, test footage, the cast, the build leaked, which is what I was talking about earlier. Um, the content roadmap leaked, the a cutscene leaked, the full plot of the game was leaked, an internal PC build, the PowerPoint presentation for their game design document,
Jesus.
um, a design presentation for a bar fight, motion capture footage, bosses, abilities, side content, story, traversal, and more, and a level called Mandapore. So pretty much the entire game was leaked, right?
Holy fuck, dude.
Then there was Insomniac PlayStation Studios internal info. So you got Insomniac's extended roadmap, all future Insomniac projects, Insomniac budgets slash revenue, PlayStation Studio Steam sales, Insomniac's projected costs, something that's called Gorilla Overview.
Uh,
I guess this is from like the actual PlayStation Studio Gorilla. Um,
okay.
Internal slides on gaming industry, which is like PlayStation's like PowerPoint on like internal industry stuff.
Yeah.
Blue Point, their overview, and the next game's concept art. Unfortunately, not Legend of Dragoon. I'm not sure why they teased that years ago. Do you remember that? Blue
Yeah, I
Point teasing
remember
Legend of
that.
Dragoon? I was like,
Yeah.
what's going on there? Why would you do that? There's a Venom game coming
Yeah.
called Venom Lethal Protector coming in 2025.
Yep.
That game overview leaked, and something called Venom Pigeon. I don't know what the deal
Pigeon.
is. Oh, it's an actual pigeon from the game that like the design and skin of it leaked. Um, yeah, so there's all kinds of information about Venom that came out. Um, so there's then a Ratchet and Clank game coming in 2029.
Yeah.
A concept art for that leaked, a dev build for that leaked, the script leaked for that. There were Spider-Man leaks, a Spider-Man 2 DLC, Spider-Man 2 New Game Plus trophy, a Spider-Man 3 possible split information. I guess that's I don't know what that means. Spider-Man 3 info, Spider-Man the Great Web is a leaked game that people are just like theorizing might be like a multiplayer game
Yeah.
because that would there's like a Spider-Gwen artwork that leaked for it.
Ooh.
And like a whole bunch of it's a Spider-Man multiverse, like Spider-Verse concept thing.
Okay.
I hope that game gets canceled. I would hate that. But like in the concept art, you see Venom, Scream, another symbiote, Carnage, and then you got Spider-Man, Silk, Spider-Gwen, and Miles all fighting them.
Oh wow.
So like yeah, it's like a Spider-Verse thing against the symbiotes. It seems. Um, and then there's an X-Men game coming in 2030.
All right.
So
Yeah.
insanely detailed.
That's so shitty that like people are such pieces of shit, man.
Yeah. So
They've tried to fucking blackmail them. They're like, yeah, give us $2 million, we're gonna leak all this shit.
yeah, so that's what these hacker groups do. And it's becoming like a really popular thing now because they try to get $2 million out of Insomniac.
Yeah, they're like, fuck off.
So yeah, Insomniac did the noble thing, which was tell these guys to fuck off.
Well,
But
because they don't lose anything by this. They're not gonna like lose money or sales.
well,
People are
I mean
excited.
they did lose their employees' personal data.
Well,
That
that
sucks.
yeah, that blows.
But what is interesting about it is Insomniac could have just given them $2 million, right? Like Sony and Insomniac, they clearly have that,
Yeah, but it's
but
the principle of it.
they chose not to. They're like the United States, like we're not negotiating with terrorists type thing,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of other companies do. This happens all the time. These hacktivists, they're not hacktivist groups, but like these hacker
They're
groups.
criminals, dude. Like that's
Yeah,
blackmail.
yeah. Like oh yeah, we stole a ton of data. And what's really interesting is that a lot of these groups do not use like the 90s like I'm in like just
Yeah.
like fighting
No.
firewalls like that type of hacking isn't really a thing for these types of companies. What they are doing is they're hacking people. So
Yeah.
like they'll target like employees of Insomniac or something and they'll get their personal information
Yeah.
because because people are way more vulnerable than like a firewall, right? So they'll
Mhm.
like keylog their passwords or whatnot. Then they'll be able to access their account through the Insomniac because they have that person's personal
Right.
data.
They have
So
access. Yeah.
that's kind of the way they're working these days, and it's crazy, dude. It's because it's like everything's getting leaked nowadays, everything, and this didn't used to happen,
No,
but
no, but I can't wait like for some of these guys to end up in jail and be like,
it
here's what I
doesn't
look
matter
forward to.
though.
Here's what I look
There-
forward to. The one day I find somebody and I look at their paperwork and it's like whatever the charge for hacking is. I'm like, oh, what'd you do, buddy? Oh, I was an Insomniac leaker. I'm like, oh, I can't wait for that day.
a lot of them are Russian, like leaking or
Shocker.
hacking's a big deal in Russia. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
It's
it's
bullshit.
it's bullshit because if it wasn't for the employees' data being leaked, it would be more of like a "oh, that sucks" type of situation, right?
Yeah, but yeah, people's fucking data getting leaked is fucking that's fucked up, man.
Yeah, one of my old companies did that to me, and ever since then, I've had all kinds of like, oh, your information appeared in the dark web, and
Oh god.
I've had all kinds of security concerns for like the last 8 years ever since. I'll drop them. Liberty Mountain leaked all my personal information, including like my social security number and stuff. And that was just through a basic phishing email, right? Like they logged into something through an email
That's
and
ridiculous.
they got the information stolen from them. So like this type of shit happens all the time. So yeah, that does suck for Insomniac. Fortunately, Insomniac's a really good studio that makes great games, so everyone's just hyped for this now, right? So
Mm-hmm.
there wasn't any bad information that came out of the leak except the employee's personal data.
Yeah. So yeah, that's I feel for those guys, man. Like, ugh. Hackers are such pieces of shit, dude. I do not like cyber crime at all. Like I don't. Yeah, I could go on rants about it, but we'll move on. So, staying more on stupid shit going on in the internet, we gotta have a talk about simps. First off,
Okay.
these men who are simping after these internet thirst traps,
Hmm.
it's you gotta stop.
Yeah.
You gotta stop because now on Twitch you can see girls who either are naked or it's implied that they're naked with like bars, or just sometimes you see like a little bit of their cleavage,
Yeah.
getting hundreds of thousands of viewers and money on
Yeah.
Twitch. What the fuck are we doing here?
Dude, the girl that started all this hubbubaloo, she was literally standing on her Twitch stream with her tits out, and the camera was cut off right above her nipples. And
Yeah,
it was like ridiculous, dude. And it was totally allowed by Twitch's content policy. And it's like,
yeah,
then they went and they were like, all right, so we're gonna change the rules. We're gonna now allow more adult content, and
uh-huh.
we're going to allow artistic nudity. So
Yeah,
then when you browse Twitch's like front page, it was
hmm,
all a bunch of people drawing dicks. It
yeah,
was all these chicks doing the same shit, dude. The worst thing Twitch ever did was allowed people to be on that site without playing games. And here's the
yeah.
thing, dude. Here's the real thing. They don't really care. They
No,
they say they give a shit, but
they
they
don't give
don't
a fuck.
really give a shit. You know why? Because they get fuckloads of money for it. Like truckloads. Because people are donating to these girls and Twitch is immediately taking a cut of it, right? It's like, oh,
Yeah,
oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And it's like, that is why you don't see real actions taken on Twitch towards these girls. People are like, oh, it's because, the Twitch employees are like total simps for these girls. No, 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 no. I don't believe that for a second. Maybe some of
no.
them, right?
I'm sure.
The
Yeah,
real
but
reason is because the people in
it's too
probably this,
profitable.
yeah, people probably in the C suites of Twitch are like, yes, yes, give us more, right? Because they're just feeding on money. Um, as far as like Twitch goes, dude, I I've never been in on Twitch culture. Like there was a couple times where I was like, I'm gonna try streaming out, and then I just fell out of it. There's a couple people I do like and have watched, like Moist Critical Charlie, um, who's that Penguins guy that you were talking about earlier. I
Yeah,
like him. I've watched him since the early days of YouTube. And Asmongold, I like Asmongold a lot because Asmongold's really funny. I haven't watched his content in a long time though. He's mainly a World of Warcraft streamer.
yeah.
But other than that, I don't. there's people that spend like all day. They watch Twitch religiously. I don't do that.
No,
That's not my
I don't.
thing.
Mm-mm.
And there's like all kinds of like memes in Twitch culture that I think is like disgusting. So I'm
Yeah,
not about it. But yeah, as far as like your original point, like these simps that like simp over internet girls, I don't even know what to say about like that level of like patheticness. Dude, like if you're donating to a girl online or like buying content from her
yeah,
just because she's hot, you have issues and you need to take a really good look at yourself and ask yourself how you're going to get out of this situation instead of looking for immediate gratification,
yeah. So,
right?
because
Because
yeah,
that's the big issue.
so for me, it's one thing. Like I don't get mad at like Amaranth or Morkpie. If people are subscribed to her OnlyFans and pay for a video of her sucking dick, whatever, man. That is a business. You paid for an item. That's it. Whatever. Cool. It's the fact that like it's leaking into these mediums I like care about. Like, I'm
Exactly.
deeply passionate about video games. I'm deeply passionate about movies and comic books. I don't really want to scroll Twitter and consistently see my ass or a PS5. Like, oh, shut up.
Yes.
And like all these dudes, like it's so bad. And then for these girls to be on Twitch, which is like, isn't it 13 plus to be on Twitch? So there's like still kids under the age of 18 on there.
Yeah. 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 I think it's 14, but it's still.
Yeah.
By
Like,
the way,
fuck,
just
dude.
a quick side note: have you noticed that the Twitter homepage is like egregious nowadays?
Yeah,
Ever
it's just
since they
all
had
porn.
even ever since they allowed people to make money off of it,
Yeah.
you have these people that like post fake outrage stuff,
Mhm.
and you have these people that like post fake ads for Instagram
Yep.
models, or not Instagram, but like OnlyFans models and stuff, and it's
Yep.
like egregious. The company notes, the community notes was a good change Elon made. The ability to make money on Twitter though,
Yeah.
not great, not great. Um, but as far as what you were saying, yeah, I agree with that too. I it started with like the Jessica Negri cosplay thing, right?
Yeah.
And then like it slowly evolved into where we are now, where like I I imagine if you look at the top 1,000 channels on Twitch, 50% of them are just like girls just chilling,
Mhm.
right,
Yeah.
doing nothing, just talking to the camera. And like you said, that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue though is like how it's viewed as a video game thing, and also that there's these guys that are willing to donate their money and do this. Like that's such a sad, pathetic state of being, dude.
Yeah,
Such a
it's a
sad,
sad
sad,
existence.
pathetic. If you're buying like art prints of a girl and sticking them on your wall, or
That's
like,
that. Yeah.
if you're buying content from these girls, like, just, dude, you have issues, man. Like that's not normal behavior, and you need to do something about it. You can't live like that. Like you could be spending that money on improving yourself and
Yeah.
not being depressed, or like you could spend that money on your own self improvement and like get a gym membership, dude. Like go see a therapist with that money. Do something else other than like sit here and just be addicted to porn, or like like just like give all your money to these girls. Like, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
No. Yeah. You can't. Yeah. That's a rabbit hole. Like because some of these OnlyFans are like fucked up. Like, oh yeah, fucking send me $30. I'll mail you my panties. Like, what?
Yeah, like fuck.
Fuck, dude. Yeah. Like, no.
Did you watch that Boogie documentary?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I watched that, dude. He is a fucking asshole.
He's the same type of person that like we're talking about though, right? Like he's like,
Yeah.
oh, I blew $1 million. How'd
On
I do
sex
it?
workers.
Yeah, sex work. Like he's like, I would have sex with prostitutes, and I was just spending money. I wasn't even looking at my bank account. It's like, well, you're an
Yeah.
idiot, and you just happen to have a successful YouTube channel, but you're an
What?
idiot, and like you're a sad, depressed man who doesn't want to get a job. It's like,
Yeah. And his fans like hate him. Like it's like he's
well, it's like that documentary said. He's morphed into a channel of outrage. He doesn't do video game content anymore. He does like
no.
outrage. And now he's like trying to cash in on this documentary, and it's not working for him
No,
because,
because that documentary doesn't like paint him in a very good light. Like,
well, yeah, because he's like, oh, me and my 20-year-old girlfriend or something. And it's like,
yeah. So I remember. So when this like 20-year-old girlfriend first popped up, I remember like because I didn't realize all the negative shit that had happened with Boogie. Like my
Mhm.
last memory of Boogie was like him getting Gamer of the Year forever ago. So it's like, oh yeah, Boogie's a nice dude. And he's like talking about, yeah, my girlfriend's 20, and people are saying it's weird. I'm like, well, it's legal, so why do you give a fuck? And then like he kept posting about it and posting about it. I'm like, dude, enough. Like, why are you explaining yourself to these people? Like, why? Like, stop. And then I realized he wants attention.
Yeah, it looks like his channel got a bump when
Yeah, when that video came, for sure.
that documentary came out, and now it's back to like normal. And yeah, he's not making video game content anymore, man. He's making like YouTube culture content, and this is
Or
the sad state of
in
of
this
like
shit where he's saying he's a convicted felon. Like, shut the fuck. Come on.
is he a convicted felon? I don't know. Is he?
No.
Oh, okay. I was
if
gonna say,
he was a convicted felon, he would have been. So a felony is anything that is literally punishable by up to 2 years in jail.
Mhm.
And Pookie never went to fucking jail.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair.
Come on. I'm a convicted felon. Shut up.
There was that whole controversy of him pointing a gun at somebody outside his
Yeah,
front door. I didn't see what the controversy was, dude. Like that guy
I
was
don't.
stalking him.
Yeah, I think no. I think his stuff was like potentially a domestic. And it was like he had a wife and then she left him. I thought it was like domestic, but I could be wrong.
I want to know what the deal is with this young girl that he's seeing. Like, what's her problem? You know?
Probably daddy issues, and
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I mean, good for him. Like it's like, hey, if you found somebody who that you like, and she happens to be 20, okay, she's 20. All right, whatever, whatever.
yeah.
Like, do
I
you?
don't know,
I
dude.
think it's
That
weird,
is,
but that's not my like. I wouldn't do that. Like, I can't date anybody less than like I don't know. You got to be like 27, 28 for me to even fuck with you.
yeah. I can't even imagine dating someone that's younger than 25.
I
That
don't really
would.
like young people. I'm an old curmudgeon.
I don't like old people either. That's the problem.
Yeah, no, like I there were some bars in New York City that I realized are like 25 and up. I'm like, that's my place.
Yeah, that's where I belong.
Yeah, like I can't be in a fucking just these kids these days, like especially anyone who's like 20, 21. Like, oh, I can't deal with you. I cannot deal with you. All
Yeah, I
right.
think I think he needs to.
Shut the fuck up. That's what he needs to
Well, he needs to shut the fuck up and also like try and realize what made your channel big in the first place, dude. Like every single video on his channel is like him reacting to something or him like talking about drama or like look at me how disgusting I am. It's like, dude, people like you because of your gaming content, like your comedy content. This
do.
is
Yeah.
why like this is why your channel's failing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I just couldn't. He should have been like super well off, and like
Hmm.
because I remember Colin talking about this. Like he should have been like well super comfortable, and he's like literally hurting for money.
Yeah, he's got nothing.
Yeah, like how do you do that? Like, I guess by fucking banging prostitutes. I guess,
Yeah.
but I guess that's the formula. All right, so that was a lot of kind of negative shit we were talking about. So on a more positive note, let's talk about game of the year for Alpha Nerds.
All right.
I feel like we're probably gonna have the same game of the year. Maybe not. But for me, I only really played one like big major release, and that would have been Final Fantasy 16. Like I could put Trails in the Reverie in there, but like it's not a big enough game that like yeah. It's like for me, I loved it, but Final Fantasy 16 that was a showstopper.
Yeah.
So
Same.
yeah,
It's the same for me. Like it brought me back into like a massive love for the Final Fantasy franchise, and nothing but excitement for Final Fantasy 16 and its future. By the way, I haven't played the DLC. I'm waiting for a good time.
yeah. Well, I'm
Can't
waiting
get
for both of them
distracted
to
right
be
now.
out.
Oh, you're gonna just marathon it.
Yeah, yeah. Because when I saw the DLC and I saw that it like because I'm planning a second playthrough anyway because I want to get the platinum.
Mhm.
So like that second playthrough with like some of the new content added that adds to the story is like right in my wheelhouse,
Mhm.
and it basically filled in the gaps of what I wanted, like what happened with Leviathan. Like, someone explain this to me.
Doesn't get all so it does one of the cardinal sins for me with
Mhm.
video gaming. It's a DLC that takes place before the ending of the game. I hate that, dude. I
Yeah, no, I
absolutely
hate that
hate
too.
that, and
That's
I
a
don't
no-no for me.
understand why we keep doing this.
Yeah,
If you want to make DLC, do it after the finale of the game, or do like a side story,
yeah,
like a Miles Morales thing, right?
Mhm.
Don't give me the ending, and then I know ultimately everything I do in this DLC package doesn't matter, right?
Yeah,
It's cool. I'm going to learn more about the world and deeper relationship with the characters and whatnot. But
yeah.
like at the end of the day, I know how this ends. So
The only reason it gets a pass for me is because I'm like literally going to make another playthrough. But if it was one
mhm,
of those like I had no plans of getting the platinum and doing a second playthrough and just had to like play this chunk,
mhm.
I'd be mad because I got like, the Final Fantasy 15 move. I was like, don't do that.
So it's both our game of the year. I think
Yeah.
it's one of the best masterpieces ever created in
Oh
terms
god, yeah.
of like, its
Mm.
highs. Um, its lows were a real drag to suffer through.
What would you
If
consider their lows?
um like the part of the game where you're building the airship and getting the parts for the airship,
Oh yeah,
massive drag.
I thought the side quests were a little rough.
The
I,
side quests were rough until the end of the game, and I don't understand that because if you followed all those side quests through, they all had meaningful endings and really
Mhm.
great. Like the last chapter or two of each side quest were really
They're
good.
awesome. Yeah,
Why were the beginnings so boring? Why couldn't we have added a little more like gravitas to each one of these side
I felt like
quests?
there's so many of them were just like filler quests.
Yeah, it felt it would. I mean, it's a studio that's known for making an MMO, right?
Yeah,
It
and it very much felt that way.
it felt like an MMO, and that's where I think the confusion came through because straight up, you could cut 70% of those side quests out, and the game would probably improve, and that's a problem, I did so that's the low for me though. If the highs weren't so high, and like the characters and action and the cutscenes weren't so good, the lows would really drag it down. But the highs are like some of the craziest shit you've ever seen in your whole life, you
Yeah,
know? And like twists and turns the story takes and God, dude, Final Fantasy 16 was just a love letter to
yeah, it was
like
beautiful.
modern and I know people are mad about it being more of an action game, but it's like,
It needed it. I
yeah,
couldn't see this game being turn based.
dude, there is turn-based Final Fantasy games that Square releases. They're just not called Final Fantasy.
Yeah, no, there's
And
plenty of that shit if you want it.
like go play the other video games that Square makes that are
Yeah,
turn-based.
agreed.
But guess what? No one's supporting those games. You guys aren't putting your money where your mouth is. So,
Yeah,
um,
I would say in Final Fantasy 16, my biggest gripe was certain boss fights ran too long.
I felt that, but then like there was also some like absolute crazy shit that happens in the
Yeah,
middle or at the end of those boss fights where I'm like, wow, okay, I'm back in, right?
yeah.
Like the end
Well,
of the first Kupka fight, Kupka.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
like, yo,
yeah, yeah. But that's
yeah,
so we like to call him White Thanos, and
yeah,
because and I specifically remember Adam was watching like when I fought him, and he was like doing something. He looked up. He's like, "Wow, this is still going on." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is."
yeah. I mean, you can
And
tell
then,
most of the
yeah,
budget went into those fights, right? Like
yeah.
almost all the budget went into those fights. And
Oh, they were great, but too
I
long.
keep
Too long
saying
to
like there's the primal content is so good. I mean, that's what they're called, right? I didn't screw that name up. Were they summons, icons, primals?
icons. They're icons.
Okay, the icon content was so good
Yeah,
that give me like a challenge mode or like a fighting game mode where you can refight them specifically.
yeah.
Like
I'm sure that's
that
coming.
that's
Yeah.
gotta be there, man. Or like a survival mode, like something where I can
Mhm.
just go in, talk to the little stone, and
Yeah,
fight Kupka again. That's what I want. You know, it's like trade hands all the time.
yeah.
Um, but dude, Final Fantasy 16, amazing, amazing game
Mhm.
with a great story too.
Yeah, no, that game was like a 9 out of 10 for me. I won't go 10 out of 10 because certain things my
Fair.
gripes were, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm definitely excited for the DLC. But did you watch any of the Game Awards? I'm sure you recapped it with the frame skip lads.
Yeah, I did. I watched quite a bit of it right after you texted me, um, because normally I don't really give a shit about the Game Awards. I care about the
Yeah.
announcements, right? And I watched the first little bit of it, and I was like, all right, this kind of sucks. I wasn't into it. And then you were like, oh, dude, there's crazy announcements coming, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll turn it back on. I probably watched the last third of the Game
Yeah.
Awards.
I thought it was a good show. Like, I actually really enjoyed it. I thought the
Mhm.
announcements were really good. Um, I thought they got Game of the Year right, where I thought Baldur's Gate. Um,
Sure.
the only reason I said that is I finally played a little bit of Baldur's Gate for myself.
Mhm.
Like they just recently had a PSN trial, and I downloaded it, and before I knew, I blinked and 2 hours had gone by, and I was like, oh no.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Baldur's Gate's phenomenal.
yeah. So that's why I was like, all right, yeah, they got that right. But some of the announcements I thought were really good. I was excited about the God of War Valhalla
Mhm.
um, DLCs. I got excited. I don't really like roguelikes, but I've played a little bit of it. I'm like halfway through it, and it's worthwhile. I would say I'm a little shocked they didn't charge you for it, but yeah.
It's a good move.
But
It's
yeah,
a big move.
but the biggest news is, guess what, buddy?
That's,
Sega kids, we're back. We're
you
so back. I mean,
you
we've been
keep
back, but
saying
we're
that.
we're really back. We're back.
You
New
keep
Jet
saying
Set
that.
Radio, new Crazy Taxi, new Shinobi, Streets of Rage was on there, Golden Axe. We're back.
All right, let's be clear. Shinobi's the best looking game in that
I love
lineup,
that art style.
and no one's ever liked Golden Axe. Golden
Whoa,
Axe
whoa,
has
whoa, 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 whoa!
always
No, Golden
sucked,
Axe is
dude.
no.
No, it's not, dude. Don't even
Oh
start me.
god,
The
I've
only
beaten all three
reason
Golden Axes.
the only reason
Great.
you beat all three Golden Axe because you had nothing better to play. Golden Axe has never been good. It's always sucked, especially even compared to like other side scrolling action games. Like Golden Axe is not a good game. I'm sorry, it sucks. Even the hit detection's terrible in Golden Axe. Streets of
No,
Rage, much better game. All right,
I
much
love
better.
Streets of Rage. Streets of Rage 4, top tier. But
Yeah, Streets
yeah,
of
we're
Rage is
back
great.
though. Sega kids, we're back. Coming for everybody. Coming.
Coming all over this industry.
But you know what? Because you know what this means, right? Like we could get. What if we get a new Fantasy Star?
Yeah, you're gonna get a new Fantasy Star. It's gonna be Fantasy Star Online
Oh
3.
God, for the love of God,
It's
no.
gonna be a free to play MMO, dude. What are you
I
talking
did.
about?
Fantasy Star Online 2 kicked me right in the dick. Like, it's not a bad game. It's just there's no real content.
Yeah, they make so much money from Fantasy Star Online. You're never getting another single player Fantasy Star. It's dead, dude. It's over.
But we could get Skies of Arcadia. We can get
Yeah,
Shining Force or something Shining. I don't know. I didn't play that Shining Resonance game ever, but I probably wasn't good.
I heard it was really bad. That's what I heard.
Yeah, and like even the Sonic games are good again. We're back. Sega's back.
So I actually bought Sonic Frontier. I have
Oh,
not gotten around to playing it, but I
I've
heard it was
touched
pretty
it.
good.
Yeah,
And that other Sonic game that came out was
Sonic
pretty good.
Superstars. Yeah,
Yeah.
which they ripped off New Super Mario Brothers, but who cares? But
I'm looking
yeah, no.
at gameplay of Sonic Superstars right now, and it
Yeah,
looks like
it's basic New Super Mario Brothers.
classic Sonic.
Yeah, we're back.
Sonic's always had an issue with me though, where like the best way to play Sonic, it doesn't work with the actual mechanics of the game, right? So like the best way to play Sonic is slow, and so you can
Yeah,
collect all the stuff, all the coins, and you don't accidentally jump into something.
yeah,
But
you
like
don't go fast.
the game is designed for you to go as fast as possible through the level, but like you end up you can't even see when the game's going that fast. Like you
Yeah,
have no idea what's going on the screen when you're going max speed.
yeah.
So
I'll be
that's why I
honest.
never like side
Sonic
scrolling.
was one of those games that like never doesn't really work in 3D. Personally, like I don't know. Like
But it
I'm
doesn't
more of
work
a
in
2D
fucking
Sonic
2D.
fan.
It doesn't work in
No,
2D either. That's what I'm saying.
no 2D it works great. I'm an elite level Sonic player, buddy.
Sure, if you know the level, if you
Yeah,
know where you're going in Sonic, you can play it really cool and really fast. But like
yeah,
the game punishes you if you don't, right? Because you
yeah.
can't even see what's going on the screen when it's moving that fast.
Blast processing, baby.
It does. It's nothing. That doesn't even make sense.
I know it's the greatest marketing term ever. Blast processing. What the fuck? We still to this day do not know what that meant. It's
The
just a term.
the processing is blasting off, dude.
Yeah, blast processing. No, it's an exciting time though because I think it's excuse me. It's important that like these old companies are starting to have their renaissances. Like Capcom is back, Sega definitely back. I feel like we're gonna see Konami make a comeback here shortly. So I think it's good that these like
Maybe.
classic companies that used to give us quality shit back in the day are like, oh fuck. Maybe like certain people that are our age finally got into positions of power and they're like, oh yeah, let's fix this.
Dude, I'll be honest. The biggest announcement from the Game Awards for me was Visions of Mana. I think that game looks
Yeah,
so good.
yeah, baby.
That game looks so fucking
I
good.
I
And
love Trials of Mana, so I'm in on this.
yeah, well, Trials of Mana is like a
Okay.
shorter,
Yeah,
like fun game, right? Like it's like
yeah,
20 hours maybe, if that.
it took me runs like shit on Switch. Fun fact. So
Why did you play it on Switch? What's
that's
wrong with
where I
you?
bought it because I thought portably because it's a Mana game. I was like, yeah, I'll fucking play it on Switch. Mistake.
This game looks phenomenal. I'm watching the trailer again, dude.
I know. I
This
can't
game
wait.
looks so good.
And they're multiplayer, or they used to be anyway. I don't know if the new one is, but
Let me tell you what I'm gonna do with the Mana series. 'Cause I told you I've never played them, right?
you're gonna run
I'm gonna
through it.
play I'm gonna play Trials of Mana, and then I'm gonna play Visions of Mana, and I'm gonna skip Secret of Mana.
You're a fucking piece of shit. You know that.
Who's gonna stop me, dude? No one. That's what I'm
No,
gonna
no.
do. That's what I'm gonna fucking do. And I'm not. And I could play Secret of Mana, but I'm not going to, just so I can say I didn't do it.
That's like that's like literally the best one. Like,
The most well-known one.
play Secrets of Evermore while you're at it too. Then fuck
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
the
I'll play
one no one
Secrets of Evermore.
likes. Oh man. So in wrapping up, but this is a funny thing I saw. Did I invite you to that game club group on Facebook?
No, I don't think so.
Well, so they were like doing a vote for like RPG of the quarter. So every quarter we do like an RPG, and I haven't played a couple of them because every time there's one that wins, I've already beaten it. So I'm like, oh well. So this time, Tails is a Zestiria one.
Oh my god.
So I am debating finally actually finishing it
Why the fuck are people hellbent on playing Tales of Zestiria? Why did you play Tales of Zestiria?
because I'm a rebel, bro. You know, I don't like to listen. I don't like to listen.
It's the worst Tales game.
Well, that's what made me laugh because I'm like, that's fucking funny. Oh man,
Holy fuck! Did you? I didn't know there were so many Mana games.
yeah, dude. The Mana series like kept going
I
after
thought there was
Secret of
like
Mana.
3.
No, none of them are connected.
There's
Whatever.
Final Fantasy Adventure, which a lot of people don't know. Secret of
That's
Mana,
yeah,
Trials of Mana, Legend of Mana,
yeah,
Sword of Mana, Children of Mana, Friends of Mana, Dawn of Mana, Heroes of
yeah,
Mana, Circle of Mana, Rise of Mana, Adventures of Mana, Collection of Mana, Secret of Mana, the remake, Trials of Mana, the remake,
yeah,
Echoes of Mana, and then Visions of Mana is coming.
yeah. The Mana series is
Too
long.
much. Too much.
Yeah, you only really need to play like a couple of them, and you kind of get the gist of it.
So none of them are connected, even in any like world way, like Dragon Quest is.
I believe Trials of Mana and Secret of Mana are connected, like in world wise. But other than that, no. I'm sure you
Well,
can find a YouTube video doing a deep dive on it.
I guess I'm never gonna find out because I'm not gonna play Secret of Mana.
That's a fucking bold move by you, sir. Very bold.
It's like someone be like, I played every Final Fantasy game except 7.
I purposely didn't do it. All right, so oh man, it's been good to get back into the pod, man. I've been itching to
Yeah.
run my mouth about things going on in the gaming world. But yeah, like this fucking the end of this year has been fucking wild as far as like moving and fucking it was a fucking giant pain in the ass moving.
That is the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, moving is like the bane of my fucking existence. So I'm like dreading moving again. I'm like, oh, but
Yeah,
we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
I do not envy you, dude. I do not envy you. Moving is literally the worst thing in existence.
Yeah, no, I hate it. I like literally hate it. Like, there's
Are
nothing I
we
do.
old enough now where we just
Hire
hire
movers.
movers? Yeah, do we? Because
Yeah,
I think I'm willing to drop a lot of money to hire movers. Like I
Yeah.
would be willing to pay a significant amount of money for someone to move my stuff for me.
yeah. I think we're at the age we can do that. Like, I'll pack it for you, but you're moving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because moving is a fucking and shit gets broken. Like we had so many tragedies in this move. yeah, just not great.
You know what? I don't no, see, I disagree. I think packing stuff up and unpacking is the worst part. The move for me is usually easy. I usually have all my stuff packed up and set in a place.
Yeah,
When the actual moving day comes, that's not hard. I can do that. It's dude, packing everything up and then unpacking it and organizing it and because
yeah,
I'm like an expert level mover, right?
mhm.
I I have a ton of boxes. I write the name of where the things go. I have them organized in boxes so I know exactly where everything's going, and it makes it super organized and easy. Still the worst thing in the world,
Yeah.
like the worst. So I'm willing to pay people a significant amount of money for that. And you know what else I'm willing to pay someone a significant amount of money for? If I could, if there was a service where I could give someone all of my money, right? And I'm like, or like a massive amount of it, and I'm like, pay all my bills for me.
Yeah.
Here's my money. Here, like just I like if I could just pay this one person like a set amount of money each month, and they would pay my bills for me.
Yeah.
I'm all over that, dude. I would pay them like a 10% commission because I fucking hate having to be like, all right, it's Friday. Which bills do I pay this week? Oh, I fucking forgot my water bill. Damn it.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, it's like there's nothing more that's more of a kick in the dick where you see your deposit hit your account and then like you see, oh, gotta pay that, gotta pay that, gotta pay that, and like basically most of your paycheck's gone.
you know, it's like
Sucks. It's pain.
yeah, that's life though. But like, I just hate having to manage it every like constantly,
Yeah.
all the time, managing it.
Hmm.
And then I'm like, and then like I look at my bank account. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that was coming out this week.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah. Sometimes auto draft can be the enemy. You're like, oh, there's money coming out of my account every day. This is great.
Yeah, I mean that gets me with subscriptions all the time, dude. I forget that I subscribe to something constantly.
I recently canceled a bunch of them and it's been beautiful. But
I try to do it constantly, and I'm always behind. Always.
where I get fucking jammed up is sports. Like fucking, that's the most expensive hobby to have. Is sports. Like, because I watch the NHL, so I have to have the ESPN Plus. So because that gets me all the Islander games. The only one I didn't do was Sunday Ticket because I'm not spending $300+ for the season to watch the Bengals. Like fuck. Oh, like I mean, they've been on TV a lot lately, but yeah, like I think it's fucking bullshit that like I have to pay for YouTube TV, which is like $80 a month plus internet, in order for me to watch sports. Like, just
I thought
get me a package where I can just watch my team. That's it.
I thought all that shit was coming like Amazon Prime or something.
No, YouTube got the rights to the Sunday Ticket.
Mm,
But then, like on Thursday Night Football, you want to watch Thursday Night Football? You gotta have Amazon Prime. Even though I don't really know anybody who doesn't have Prime at this point, but
yeah.
I mean, because it's like what $100 a year. Come on.
So I work with this guy, and he's young. He's 21, right?
Uh-huh.
But he lives at home with his parents.
Yeah,
Totally fine at 21.
yeah, yeah. I recommend it.
We make fun of him because he's just banking all the money he works
But,
for,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like he makes really good money and he just banks it.
Attaboy. Yeah,
And he was asking me about my headphones because I have really nice Bose headphones.
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, they're on sale on Amazon right now. He's like, oh, I'll have to tell my mom. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, I'll just tell my mom. And I'm like, do you not have an Amazon account? And he goes, no, she has one. I give her the money and she buys it with her Amazon account. I'm like, listen, I grabbed it. I was like, don't ever tell anybody that again. All right. You can't do that. You can't live like this. I was like,
Yeah.
get an Amazon Prime account and just get things delivered. I was like, you got to stop. You
Yeah.
got to stop.
Fucking, oh man. Like I don't know. Like sometimes like as men, as we get older, we gotta start teach the younger generation how to be men.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I mean, because if I could go back and have a talk with myself in my fucking 20s, like, listen, buddy, we gotta cut some shit out here. Like,
Dude, I just had to, you know, my relationship with my father, right?
yeah.
And I just had another situation, dude, another one where like he called me and he was like, you know, what are you doing Saturday? I was like, I'm gonna clean my gutters out. He goes, oh, yeah, okay, I'll come help you. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So in my head, I'm like, this is like, you know, not a hard job, but it's probably an hour and a half job. I got my gutters in my house and my garage, and they're in bad shape. They're pretty full. So all right, cool. You know, it'll be some time. I can talk to dad or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna really show him up today. I have my ladder and I set it up and I start scooping this shit out of my gutter, and dad pulls in and he's just like walking over, and I get off the ladder and I move it, like 3 feet to the left, climb up it again, and I'm scooping more, and he just walks over and goes, "What are you doing?" And at that moment, dude,
You got
immediately
him.
I was like, I'm disappointing my father again. Like, it's happening again, all over. He goes, why don't you get down from there? And he immediately pulls 3 ladders out of the back of his truck, right? Connects the ladders with a board in between them
Oh
and
fuck.
created just like a bridge, and just takes a scoop and walks across this bridge with a bucket underneath of it, and just 25 seconds, gutter was clean. Went to the, he goes, but he gets that right. He goes, "You can at least help me move the ladders to the other side." And I'm like, this is the worst day of my life, right? Like, my dad just making a bitch out of me constantly, and just he was in and out of my property in 20 minutes, and I was like,
Wow.
all right, I'm done, dude. I give up. This is so emasculating. Like, I was
Just
gonna be like, all
immediate
right,
L.
yeah, just immediate. Just like, all right, I gotta go because he pulls in at like 4 o'clock, right? And
Yeah.
he's like, I gotta be out of here by 4:30. We're going to dinner. I'm like,
What?
nonsense, man. Like,
Oh man, that's
for people who
amazing.
don't know, my father once called Pedro a pussy for blowing his knee out, restraining a
Yeah.
convict.
Yes. Yeah. For crutches, you pussy. I was like, oh yeah. Okay. I was like, all right. Oh man, his dog though is a fucking legend. Love that dog.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That dog has
dog's
unlimited
a
energy
stud.
supply. Yeah.
Stud. I feel like that dog was showing off at that point when like
Dude, that's how he always is. He you throw something and he can run so fast he outpaces the thing you're running, and he has to
yeah.
turn around sometimes. It's like, God, this dog is ridiculous.
Well, it's for me. It was when we threw a frisbee and it hit off the electric wire. The dog adjusted for that and caught it in stride. Of like, this dog is a fucking stud. Like,
It's funny because my dog's the complete opposite, right? And dad takes my dog on nights I work, and like
yeah,
just so it has to be alone. So my dog at this point is over 100 pounds, and he's a Great Pyrenees, and they're known to have like really short energy supplies. So dad's like, yeah, they'll play tug of war, and Tucker, his dog, will be like ripping and tearing and like trying to outmaneuver him, and my dog just sits there. He's like, he just just stands there and like is unmoving like a wall.
that's awesome.
Yeah, they're complete opposites.
Yeah, I remember when Obi was chasing Tucker, and it's just like he just gave up. He's like, I can't catch this.
Yeah, he's got like 10 yards in him. And he's like, yeah, he's gone. We did our
That's
best
funny.
out there, but that's enough.
Yeah. So, in closing news, we do have some good news. One more good news. Our buddy Berto's family bought the venture.
That's
Golf.
fantastic news, dude.
I'm so excited about that. That's gonna be the new spot. It's a
Yeah,
spot.
it is a
I mean, it
spot.
was always a spot, yeah, but that's definitely gonna be the spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great, dude. It's crazy because I didn't even know that was on his mom's radar. Like,
Neither did
I knew
I at all.
I knew
I
they
know they
liked
went there a lot though. Yeah.
I knew they liked that bar, but that that's good, dude. And it's gonna be a nice little homey area
I
for
know.
Roberto now.
Yeah, but that's just gonna be the spot. Like, think of all the gatherings we're gonna probably have there.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Now we're obligated to go there constantly to see his mom.
Oh, absolutely. But his mom's awesome. So that's it's good stuff. I have very, very good memories of the venture. Very good memories.
Yeah.
Oh man, so it's been a good show, buddy. This has been good. I'm glad that we were able to connect and start up the show again.
Yep, absolutely.
I apologize that like I fucking had to move and be off the fucking radar for a minute there, but we had to get our shit
It,
together.
it happens. I mean, you went through a breakup and moved, and I
Yeah.
left our podcasts on my 15-year-old hard drive that failed. So
Yeah, so we had a bunch of lost content, the lost episodes.
Yep, it happens.
Yeah, it just sucks that we'll never get that air that episode where fucking David Jaffe came on. That was the one.
Yep, and I told Phil Spencer he was a little bitch to his face. So
Yeah, he cried. Yeah, I remember that. That's fucked. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. You can find us on Facebook. We still do exist. It's Alpha_Nerds. We are on X or Twitter or as Alpha Nerds Prime. We're on Instagram. Check us out. Give us a comment, like, subscribe, smash the like button. Classic YouTube. Smash that like
smash it,
button.
smash.
And remember, be safe during the holidays. No means no. Don't drink and drive. And when in doubt, square up, throw down.
That's right, buddy.
Hot damn.
What a good